Welcome to Kickstarter Radio 102.4. I'm your host, Lipstickpaddy, and we're back on the Elder Scrolls Betrayal of the Second Era. Indeed, because the first time we looked at this was really first impressions, and wasn't any gameplay videos or anything like that, but many have been released during the campaign, and we're jumping on it. Yes, this actually finishes before Hex Explore It Volume 2's campaign book finishes, so even though that'll be our last project, new IP, this one finishes before, so we're squeezing it in the door and getting on the big whale pledge. Let's jump down to the add-ons, or the pledge tiers. Now, the stretch goals have basically been making the expansion box and the actual add-ons here really nice. The Valenwood add-on box now looks almost fantastic to get. It's like a must get. Now, the game is going to have more expansions. This has been revealed many times throughout this campaign that there is going to be expansions down the pipe. That's really exciting. So if you get on this big pledge now and you get all this premium stuff, if there's only going to be one game, I probably wouldn't have gone for this, but because there's going to be expansions down the road, then this will be beneficial to all those games. It's like the Hex Explore It system. There's going to be 6 volumes in total there, so pimping it out as much as you can will benefit all the other games in the series. So here, for example, you've got your premium health upgrade. That will last throughout the whole series when more expansions come. That's going to be great. The dice tray, great. Blacksmith pack for the pegs, great. That's possibly going to get stretched to a die as well. That's great. And the mat, of course. The mat is still, work in progress. And the deluxe drawbacks look so nice. I love it how it's not a bag, is it? It's a square, but you put your whole hand in there easily. It's nice. Anyway, let me just go through these stretch goals because they're really interesting. How to watch, is that even in Elder Scrolls? I don't know. Is that a new guild? I don't remember it being in the video games. Maybe it's an older one from older series that I didn't play, but it sounds new to me. Spell Sword is a hybrid class, isn't it? It's a magic wielder and a sword wielder. Whether they are, for example, setting the sword on fire, the shield, maybe they don't have a shield, but they're doing touch spells. Maybe they've got up close and personal. Maybe we don't know what kind of spells they're going to have. But this is still kind of because what they've basically done is been so shocked by the explosion of this GameFound project. It's massive. It's gone way and above Chip Theory's record for biggest Kickstarter game they've ever done. It's gone beyond it. So most of these stretch goals, they have actually admitted in one of their updates, they've actually pulled this stuff from future expansions down the pipe. So that's actually been great. So this was stuff planned in the far long future, you might say. Campaign for next year, 2 years down the road, I don't know. And one that's very exciting is the light armor, because that's one thing that I was missing from my playthrough. Was the armor cards in the game, and there's going to be a clothing pack of 20 clothing item cards coming in at the $4 million. What I've really been blown away by is just how many they've gone through. 78 stretch goals so far. They've actually said that this 4,000 is the maximum. They're not going to be any stretch goals. That's what they've hinted at. This is the last one, so final thoughts time. And light armor. So where's the medium and where's the heavy? And with light armor, there will be level ups in it. You've got your cloth armor, then embroidered cloth. Does it go? I can't remember. If you had some mixture of light. Then, and I think glass armor is the best light one for a mage. So it's, as you level up, you might be able to get different actual armors that change. So that's going to be interesting to see how they blend that in. Again, this is future expansion stuff that's come into Valenwood, which has made that expansion even better now. And So yeah, and I'm not certain how this will affect the project. If they've been stretching things out, perhaps it is going to be later than scheduled because they have this stuff's not developed. Ranger class. Very surprised that this wasn't in the box at the beginning. The Ranger, or should I say the Valen Wood box, because it is foresty, isn't it? But the Ranger sounds fantastic. You know, a bow-focused class. A lot of people love playing this class in the video game. So, you know, there's 3 types of playing Elder Scrolls, really, isn't there? There's you go 100% mage, you go sword and board, sword and shield, you go double-handed, or maybe you know there's 5. Then you go double-handed sword for big DPS. You go thief, lockpicking thief with twin daggers, or yeah. So you know you got these classes. They've actually got some new ones here that you just don't do in the game. The Pilgrim, that's a new one, definitely new. Gain more equipment, manipulate skills without leaving your map with this new class. Interesting. Rogue, again, that was surprising, that had to be unlocked. The guild, Circle of Champions, they've had loads of these guilds. The guilds are going to be good because you're going to be getting quests from them. Just say this upgrade will be applied to future region expansion, so that's what we can expect down the pipe, is regions. The Knight. Actually, you can see here, this was a planned stretch goal. They've actually got some skills on this one. Here was the up above. It's kind of going a bit. We just need to pull ideas from the idea board and all that stuff. But it is fairly interesting. The Thieves Trove that unlocked at 3 million. Potions, enchantments, and clothing. They've consumables coming in. And I guess with future expansions they can bring crafting into the game. Crafting's a big thing in the game, but none of this Thieves Guild stuff is crafting, they've said. So yeah, there's kind of a lot of mystery still behind the game as it's in early development, and well, not early development, but somewhat early. There is a lot of years planning to go, and you know, another thing that might delay them is their IP with ZeniMax. ZeniMax, they're actually in a meeting, I think, yesterday about what's going on, and we'll see what happens. Because they've got to green light a lot of this stuff. They seem to be extending the IP out for me with these guilds, which is interesting. It's good. It's good that they're doing that, you know, because it is a adaptation of a video game, and the adaptation can fill in areas where the video game maybe isn't doing, and it's actually enhancing the video game. It is indeed. So if you get the all-in, if you individually start cherry picking, you might as well throw the book in because it covers it, essentially. Because if you a la carte this up and you don't have the book, it becomes higher than, I think it's 410 or something like that. But I think the thing that sweetened the deal for me was the stretch pay, because the stretch pay is only €37, which is about $40, and that's fantastic, you know, because they're actually willing to stretch it for 10 installments. You know, you pay the first one when it ends, and then you pay the installments over the time. That's fantastic, isn't it? So this big pledge that you might be feared of, it, you know, you can stretch it. Remember, you can pay it whenever you want. You know, if you think you're going to get paid in the later down in the year, maybe when you have money for it, you can check out then, or you can just keep stretching it. It's been fantastic. Loads of languages have been unlocked. I think Italian was the last one that got unlocked, if you remember, in the stretch goals. And you know, amazing art that we've got on the campaign as we go down. It actually feels different now when you come down the campaign, or but I do like the fact that they've got a restoring light here, because the video game is single player. There's the massively multiplayer online game that brought a healing class into the world, and so that's nice to see that here with the restoring light spell. And yeah, So there's actually loads of things to be like enamored with here, and I think Chip Theory Games, they are making their, after all the games that they've done in-house, this is finally them stretching their wings and adapting everything they've learned and putting it into this. This is their magnus opus. You learn of these indie teams, and when I say indie, I just mean independent, and they've got a dream project they want to work on, and they've got it here. And there seems to be much love in all the video content that they're doing, and so I think that's very exciting to get on it. Free shipping with every pledge, that's phenomenal for me in Mexico, because that massive box would be very expensive indeed. And but yeah, it's another hex crawl, and I don't have hex scrolls, and have been Hex Explorer and Elder Scrolls as two. I think that's fantastic. This is obviously going to be expanded upon in the future, which is good. It's got legs, and of course Hex Explorer also has future. It's got legs. So the Hex Explorer for me genre is an amazing genre of board gaming that's really been sleeping, and it's great to see, because the map just gets bigger as you go across, as you explore these areas, and all that good stuff. And super incredible amounts of dice. You got loads of chips that you're pulling from, and if I want a deeper system, I've got a Hex Explorer that I can go down. And when I say deeper system, it's just a deeper character customization class. For example, in Hex Explorer, some of the enemy bosses have got like 180 health. You need to seriously power up before you fight them. And here, I don't think it gets as dicey as that. But at least not yet, anyway. But I imagine if they're doing more region expansions, then you can have an even bigger evening of Elder Scrolls, because the world will get bigger. And that new areas that they've got planned may have bigger boss type encounters, because you're going to be higher level, I guess. And they're just calling it the Elder Scrolls here. They've got the whole continent of Tamriel here, so they potentially could see many expansions down the pipe. And what I really enjoy about this is that they've kept it to 2 boxes, really. If you just want the gameplay box, that's really cool. Videos, the new section. Yeah, I think the official videos were delayed just because they were really making sure that these were going to come out professional. They look so good when you watch them. They really do. They've got good, you see how the class is made. It's very interesting how this gets, how potentially if you go for more skills, you can be, lots of traits, but you won't become a master of anything, because they're sharing a skill tree, essentially. And good first impressions from these people that have played it. It was previewed at Dice Tower West, and a good Q&A as well from them as well. So it's basically a love letter to the Elder Scrolls. The devs are in love with the franchise, as is many people, including myself. And when they put the pitch into ZeniMax, they obviously had to show a lot of thing to get in here, because Elder Scrolls, ZeniMax love ambition, basically, and this game's got ambition, massive ambition. It really does have serious ambition. So there we go. Now, if it was just the base game and they had these expansions, I'd probably go plain map and drawbacks. I like that. And emit dice tray and premium health chips and blacksmith pack. I'd probably not add them. But considering it's going to have expansion content and the game's going to be bigger, get bigger down the pipe as it expands, these are all going to be used between the expansions, so it makes sense, because you can reuse these components throughout the campaign, or the new stuff that's coming. So it feels better. It's more an attractive add-on that it can be keep getting used. You know, you get the new expansion of Elder Scrolls, you pull out all the accessories again, and they get reused, and it's going to feel fantastic. So, yeah, it's been a spectacular campaign. It really has. A really slow start though, and I think what we got was what we wanted, which was playthrough videos, class videos, how to design your class videos. We got all that stuff. They've been in the devs have been in the comments so much, and yeah, I think the biggest surprise for me was the stretch goals really are stretched. I mean, they're coming up near the end of the campaign, and they need a lot to unlock. What's the last one? The clothing box. So yeah, they're still 500,000 away from that. Will they get it? And for me, please, light armor. But I think if we don't get it, I know it was a plan for the expansion. Does it say it here? No, I think it's in the update. It is in the update. They've pulled this from a future expansion, and when I was scratching my head, I'm like, it's going to stop at 4, and then you're not going to do a medium and a heavy armor. Does that not make sense to do that? But it's but this game's going to have a lot of legs, I guess, down the pipe, and I need to go to the pledges to see when you think it's going to ship. So yeah, September next year. So it's got probably a year of development, and then it'll go into production, but that might get delayed. And I'm guessing if there's any expansion content, we're not going to see that until 2025. So this is an interesting future what they bring out, because they need to make sure the game is out, people have reviewed it, so that there's a market for people to get it again. So they bring out a second printing rather, with a new expansion, and I guess that's the path going forward for the team. But ZeniMax, they're the guys with the license of Elder Scrolls. I think did they get a 10-year license from Bethesda? I'm not certain, but whatever the case, this is a fantastic reach out to Chip Theory Games, or vice versa, whoever approached who, and it really has blossomed into a fantastic campaign. And I think this is one of the biggest campaigns on GameFound for a non-GameFound project, not coming from Awakened Realms, basically. And I'm pretty sure that Simon, with a Zombicide game, not making massive amounts of money compared to this, should really be scratching their heads and thinking, is it time for a Zombicide hex crawl? Because they need to learn from what's going on here on GameFound, because Elder Scrolls fantastic, Hex Exploring going fantastic. I mean, that is just a campaign book, like a 300-page campaign book. And Thorgal, by the way, if you're still watching the video, I'll go to that when it's finally unlocked, because I feel that the daily unlocks is just showing you what they had planned anyway. It's not stretched, and day one was like, is this it? And no, they're stretching it out. So I'm probably going to do a impression final thoughts on Thorgal as they get close to the end. Because it's hard to do a video on Thorgal at the minute, because it seems to be unlocking new pages to the books and stuff like that. So I don't know. We'll see. If it does something surprising, I might do one early, but don't expect it. The plan is anyway to let it fester for a bit and do some goodness and that good stuff. Anyway, so there's the Elder Scroll. I couldn't resist. I had to go on the pledge, and Fall of the Ancients, I'm on that too. So these are the two things I'm pledging for, and it's gonna be awesome when they get here. I think Elder Scrolls will get delivered before Fall of the Ancients, and I'm sure I'll be able to get that campaign, because the Elder Scrolls campaign is fairly short, isn't it? It's like 20 hours if you do all the side stuff. And Fall of the Ancients is another 30-hour campaign, and I'll have Volume 1's campaign to go through as well, which is another 30 hours. So that's like pushing 90 hours of campaign content. That's awesome. and I know Elder Scrolls is going to have more campaigns, and I know Fall of the Ancients is going to do more campaigns. So fantastic! These two are fantastic series to get into, I guess, if you like the idea of games getting fully developed and explored. And as these both games are adventure crawlers, you really want them to continue. And that's the biggest complaint I had of The Witcher when that came to crowdfunding, because that didn't seem or hint of having expansion content or anything like that, and that was its downfall. Whereas these are big, massive monsters that will be expanded on, and that is phenomenal that we've got these two beautiful projects. And fantastic that they're on GameFound. I keep having to hide that. But fantastic they're on GameFound, because you can stretch, pay them, and balance the books cheaper, even though the pledges are very big. All the Ancients is 400 plus, and the Elder Scrolls is 400. Just stretch, pay it through the year, make it more manageable, and don't feel like you're taking a big hit on your wallet. And at the end of the day, that's good business practice to stretch payments over them. And the fact that it's tax-free, interest-free is wonderful, and the free shipping with Elder Scrolls is the cherry on the cake. So I hope you enjoy the content. Please give the video a thumbs up. Final thoughts: we absolutely think you should be backing these, I think, but they'll be back on Kickstarter or GameFound, wherever they go. Absolutely, don't you worry, there'll be second printings of these. Fall of the Ancients has a campaign book for Volume 3 coming, and a Volume 5 box coming, so there'll be plenty of time to jump on the Hex Explore It series. And hopefully that's what we'll have with Elder Scrolls, is a very ambitious path going forward with expansions. And then it is truly a magnus opus from the team when they have lofty ideas like that. So yeah, the big question now is, will it break 4 million and unlock that content from future expansions? We wait and see. Otherwise, we'll just have to wait for that stuff. But we have got a hint of what's coming in the next expansion of Elder Scrolls, and my money is deeper crafting systems and full armor systems brought to the game. So anyway, on that bombshell, thank you so much for watching. I've been your host, Lipstickpaddy. This has been Kickstarter Radio 102.4. You take care, stay safe, and bye from me.